Oh, family. They're the ones who are supposed to have your back, right? Your ride-or-die crew, the people who'd circle the wagons and defend you to the bitter end. In the world of Emmerdale, no family embodies this principle more fiercely than the Dingles. Their code is legendary. You mess with one, you mess with them all. But what happens when the enemy isn't an outsider, but the very code itself? What happens when loyalty twists into something ugly, something cruel, and the threat comes from within? We just seen it happen, and honestly, it's left us reeling. Cain Dingle, the brooding, unpredictable hardman of the Dales, has finally crossed a line, and his target wasn't a rival or an enemy, but one of the gentlest souls in the entire village. Let's set the scene, because this story is a pressure cooker that's been simmering for weeks. At the heart of it all is Moira Dingle and her beloved butler's farm. More than just a business, that farm is Moira's soul. It's the legacy she built with her late husband John and the home she's raising her children in. But lately, that home has felt more like a sinking ship. A devastating slurry leak left her with a find so crippling it threatened to pull her under completely. She's been fighting tooth and nail, a lioness protecting her territory, but desperation was starting to set in. And who should be circling like a well-dressed shark, smelling blood in the water? None other than the suave, manipulative Joe Tate. Joe sees Moira's desperation not as a tragedy, but as a golden opportunity. He wants the farm, and he's made no secret of it, sliding in with an offer that felt less like a lifeline and more like an insult. Moira, proud and defiant, sent him packing. But we all know Joe Tate doesn't take no for an answer. He hinted that he had other, less pleasant ways of getting what he wanted, and the chill in his voice was unmistakable. That chill turned into outright terror just a night later. Imagine the scene. Moira is at the farm trying to hold it all together when two masked figures break in, menacing her and her young stepson Kyle. It's every parent's worst nightmare. With adrenaline and pure maternal instinct coursing through her veins, Moira managed to scare them off with a shotgun. The police were called, but in a gut-wrenching turn of events, they found insufficient evidence to proceed. For Moira, though, the evidence was crystal clear. This had Joe Tate's fingerprints all over it. This was his other way. Furious, betrayed, and terrified for her family, Moira wasn't about to let it go. She stormed over to confront Joe, a tempest of righteous anger. But in the heat of the moment, tragedy struck in the most unexpected way. As Moira lunged to slap the smug grin off Joe's face, the kind-hearted, ever-gentle Lydia Dingle stepped between them. She took the full force of the blow, a blow meant for a villain, but which landed on a beloved family member. The aftermath was swift and brutal. Suddenly, Moira wasn't the victim anymore, she was the perpetrator. Arrested on suspicion of assault, she was hauled down to the station, facing the cold, stark reality of a potential 6-month prison sentence. The world she was fighting so hard to protect was crumbling around her. Meanwhile, a seemingly remorseful Joe Tate paid a visit to Lydia and Sam. He apologized, swearing on his life that the break-in had nothing to do with him. "It is not how I operate," he insisted, with just enough sincerity to plant a seed of doubt. But then came the twist of the knife. He revealed that while Lydia, in her kindness, would never report her own family to the police, he already had. Just like that, Sam and Lydia were trapped, caught in an impossible tug-of-war between their family and the law. This is where things took a truly dark turn. This is where Cain Dingle stepped in. Hearing that Moira's freedom was on the line, Cain's protective instincts went into overdrive, transforming from brotherly concern into something far more menacing. He cornered Lydia, his voice low and devoid of any warmth. He told her he didn't ask, he told her to lie to the police, to invent a story that would get Moira off the hook. Lydia, bless her heart, tried to stand her ground, appealing to what was right. But she wasn't talking to Cain the family man. She was facing Cain the enforcer. "It isn't a request," he snarled, the words hanging in the air like a threat. "You do as you're told." The look in his eyes, the barely contained violence in his posture, left Lydia visibly shaken and terrified. He was bullying his own family, threatening a woman he knew was innocent, all in the name of a twisted sense of Dingle loyalty. The ultimate resolution came from the most unexpected source. Back at the Woolpack, we learned that Moira had been released. The charges were dropped, but it wasn't because of Lydia's fabricated testimony. It was Joe Tate who had revoked his statement. Was it a moment of genuine guilt, or just another calculated move in his twisted game of chess? Whatever his motive, the damage was already done. The atmosphere between the Dingles was thick with resentment and betrayal. Moira rushed to apologize to a badly bruised Lydia, but the wound was deeper than skin. Sam, seeing his wife bullied and terrified, finally found his voice and stood up to his older brother. He accused Cain of being a bully, of terrorizing his own. Cain, incapable of seeing his own cruelty, fired back, accusing Sam of siding with the Tates over his own blood. When Lydia, ever fair, defended Joe's act of withdrawing his statement, Cain's temper snapped. He spat the word thick at her, a vicious, demeaning insult that cut Lydia to the core. He demanded that his brother pick a side. And Sam did. In a moment of incredible, heartbreaking strength, he looked his domineering brother in the eye and delivered a line that may have just fractured the Dingle family for good. "I've already picked one, and it isn't yours." A line has been drawn in the sand, not between the Dingles and the Tates, but right through the middle of the Dingle family itself. The unbreakable clan is broken. And as they stand divided, warring amongst themselves, one can't help but wonder, isn't this exactly what Joe Tate wanted all along? With the Dingles in disarray, the path to claiming Butler's farm seems clearer than ever. The war for the farm may have just been won without another single shot being fired.